All right, Matthew, time for a little panic or patience. We're going to start in Indy, where Jonathan Williams was coming off 2 big weeks with Marlon Mack being out, but he played just 14 snaps on Sunday, taking a backseat to both Jordan Wilkins and Nyheim Hines. Matthew, panic or patience on Jonathan Williams?
Yeah, this is panic. I mean, honestly, regardless of how good he looked the previous 2 weeks, there's not really much of a track record here for Jonathan Williams. And as soon as he got off to a poor start, in this one, the Colts immediately went back to the familiar faces of Jordan Wilkins and Nyheim Hines. Williams also has a brutal matchup next week with Tampa's elite run defense. And with Marlon Mack expected sooner than later, Williams is honestly droppable if you need the roster spot. I can't imagine starting him this week against Tampa Bay. All right, who's next?
All right, let's talk about Jameson Crowder of the Jets. He has just 4 catches for 26 yards total over the last 2 weeks, Matthew Berry. Panic or patience for Jamison Crowder?
So I get it, but I'm still going with patience here for Jameson Crowder. I get it. The last 2 games have been brutal. But before that, he had at least 5 catches and a touchdown in 3 straight. That included a 22-point game against the same Dolphins that Crowder will face this Sunday. I'm giving Crowder at least 1 more week before I start to worry. If it was a different matchup, I might feel differently, but against Miami, I'm still rolling him out there. All right, who's next, Secret Squirrel?
All right, now let's go to Kansas City, where Sammy Watkins, who, as a reminder, is wide receiver 76 on a points-per-game basis from weeks 2 through 13, and is still rostered in 84% of leagues, was held without a catch this week and still has not scored a touchdown since week 1. Matthew, panic, full-on panic, or absolutely lose your freaking mind for the 76th best wide receiver in fantasy football who is only relevant based on name recognition because he plays in an offense with Patrick Mahomes?
So I guess the answer is panic? But even that feels strange because you really shouldn't have been expecting much from Watkins for several weeks now. He's had single-digit fantasy points in 5 of his last 7 games, and that includes a pair of zeros. At this point, you're just as likely to get a touchdown from Watkins as you are from Demarcus Robinson or Mecole Hardman or Byron Pringle. I mean, there's no way you can start Sammy Watkins in the fantasy playoffs. I'm totally fine dropping him altogether in redraft leagues. All right, who's next, Daniel?
Finally, there's Christian Kirk of the Cardinals, who had just 3 catches for 23 yards in a Week 13 loss to the Rams, Matthew Berry. Panic or patience for Christian Kirk?
It is patience here with Christian Kirk. Arizona's passing game, total disaster against the Rams this past Sunday. Kirk played more on the outside. As a result, he had to deal with Jalen Ramsey, so I don't want to make too much of one game. Now, he's not going to score a ton of touchdowns, but Kirk has a solid weekly target floor. He remains a flex play in more favorable matchups. So I'm not panicking just yet on one bad game against the Rams. I do think better days are ahead for the Cardinals offense, and specifically Christian Kirk.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.